Well, this has been one fun week in New York sports, hasn't it? Between the Jets getting beat down, and I got to spend just a few extra minutes on the 3 and Out segment talking about what happened in the last 24 hours, 36 hours now with the New York Mets. But we're going to talk a little bit about Fernando Mendoza, but specifically what other teams have done to trade up for quarterbacks in the NFL draft. We're going to look at what the Jets have. Do they really have enough to trade up for Fernando Mendoza if they believe that he's the guy? We're going to get into all of that. You know what's up, guys. It's Wednesday night. It's 6 p.m. and we are live. And well, welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia. I am Watu K99. Thank you, as always, for joining me for our weekly Wednesday night live extravaganza. Thrilled that you are here. Hope you're having a fantastic week. And I've got something to say. I've got a few things to talk about. First of all, I am using, for the very first time, a new laptop computer. Can't get into all the details of it, but I can tell you this. Sometimes good things happen when you least expect it. But I have a new computer. So for the first time in a while, since my personal one, the display basically died on it, I am not using a work computer. I'm not using a borrowed computer. I got my own laptop, and it feels like it's my own now, you know? I've had it for about a week now, but it feels like my own. That is something I'm feeling very, very good about. I wanted to point out something positive because now I got to get to a whole lot of negatives. Let's get into it. Well, I'll talk about one other positive, but let's get right into 3 and Out right now. Credit to the New York Knicks. It's just been a fun team to root for. 4 straight victories. They've won 8 of their last 9. They beat Toronto 117-101 in the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. Am I excited about the NBA Cup? No, not really. But the Knicks win on this just god-awful red wine color court. I mean, oh my gosh. You talk about an eyesore. The Knicks actually outscored them, I believe, 34-13 in the second quarter. And Jalen Brunson, unbelievable. 35 points for the game, 20 points in the first quarter alone. And now for the first time, the Knicks are heading to Vegas for the semifinal round. That semifinal game will happen Saturday, 5:30 Eastern time in Vegas. Of course, the game is on Amazon Prime. Tonight are the Western semifinals. You got Phoenix against the defending NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder. You got the Lakers against the Spurs. Both of those games will be on Amazon Prime again. So if you don't have Prime, you either got to go out or you are SOL. Just wonderful. But more importantly than all of that, the Knicks are second in the Eastern Conference, 2 games behind Detroit. Surprisingly, only 2 games ahead of Boston. Celtics, even without Jason Tatum and trading several players during the offseason, they're second in the Atlantic, third in the Eastern Conference. They've won 5 straight. So, hey, maybe Boston's a little bit better than we gave them credit for. As far as let's get this eyesore out of here. That court looks horrible. As far as hockey goes, a good night for the locals on Tuesday. The Devils beat the Senators 4-3. Islanders edge out Vegas 5-4 in a shootout. As for the Rangers, they're in Chicago tonight at the Madhouse on Madison. Rangers will be wearing their blue jerseys. The Blackhawks will be wearing their red jerseys. It should be quite the spectacle. All right, now, let's talk about the just fantastic, the Wilpon-owned New York Mets. At least I think the Wilpons still own them based off the way that they've been doing business. So I just gotten out of an interview on Tuesday morning, so I didn't have my phone with me for about 2 hours. I left my phone in the car, and I get about 30 different notifications between texts, between social media. I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? If it's this many notifications, I know it's probably not good, but I know it's meaningful. And I get the news Edwin Diaz is gone to, of course, Satan's favorite team, the Los Angeles Dodgers. 3 years, $69 million. I can't tell you I was shocked. It felt like Diaz was not coming back. There were rumors of the Mets trading for Trevor McGill from Milwaukee, factor in the $50 million that they paid to Devin Williams. But to lose him for just 3 years to Satan's team, it's really, really frustrating to lose him. And the Mets need a lot in this bullpen. You know, you have Devin Williams, and I like Devin Williams more than most other people do. If you look at the numbers in Milwaukee, he has been a dominant closer. You've got two very good lefties in A.J. Minter and Brooks Raley. What the hell else is there in this bullpen? Huascar Brazaban, Jonathan Pintero, Austin Warren. So, it's terrible. I got to see a Robert Suarez, a Kenley Jansen, a Pete Fairbanks. I need somebody else to set up Devin Williams. Maybe bring back Tyler Rogers, who, of course, is drawing plenty of interest on the open market, as he should be. And if that wasn't bad enough, you go to the position players. Kyle Schwarber goes off the market on Tuesday. He stays in Philadelphia. I didn't really expect him to leave. I'm actually glad he stayed with Philadelphia rather than go to Cincinnati. I didn't want to see him go to the Reds. That left-handed swing in that ballpark, oh boy, that would have been scary. And then I get the news mid-afternoon that Pete Alonso leaves the New York Mets to sign with the just completely underachieving Baltimore Orioles. I don't want to completely judge the entire offseason based off those two events happening because the Mets will sign some players. They will acquire some players. I got no issue with that. But I have been somebody who has supported David Stearns for 2 years. Okay? Certain people, certain former WFAN radio hosts like to kill him because he went to Harvard. You know, they give the BS of being a small market GM, which is absolutely not true. Okay. Again, he was an assistant GM in Houston. I'd say they had some success. So if people ask, what has David Stearns ever won? I'd point to Houston because he was a pretty good contributor to those Astros teams. Okay. Trash cans and all. But the hate is because he went to a woke college or he sounds smarter than everybody else. He uses big words and he looks like a geek. It had nothing to do with his baseball moves. Nothing to do with his baseball moves. Like, people were having a freaking conniption when Jose Iglesias left last season. And he did next to nothing with San Diego. So, please. But this offseason, everything has changed. Players that Met fans had taken to their hearts, Nimmo, Diaz, Alonso, all gone in the span of a month. Now I got to admit, I'm shaken. I can't really, right now, I cannot defend David Stearns at all because I don't understand what the idea is to compete. If there is an idea to compete this year, what are they trying to do? What is the goal? Is it Cody Bellinger? Is it Kyle Tucker? Is it trading for Tariq Skubal? I'll tell you this fan base, it's going to take a lot to restore their faith. I bet there are people calling today, tomorrow, the next day, canceling season tickets. And I understand it's a business, and maybe you don't want to give 5 years to players who are on the wrong side of 30, quote unquote, wrong side of 30. But it is a business, okay? And that also involves understanding what the fans want and giving it to them. If you let these players go, you got to have a big, big counter to restore the faith. And right now, Met fans as a whole have next to no faith in David Stearns. Right now, he is about as unpopular as anybody in New York City sports. Anybody. This side of Woody Johnson. I think we can legitimately go that far. So again, I don't want to kill the guy, even though I am. But yeah, as a Mets fan, I am incredibly worried about what's coming up. But I do expect moves, and that's the only reason I'm not going completely off the wall right now. All right, let's go ahead and flip the shift. Let's flip it over from blue and orange. I think we need to get some green on here because, you know what? As lousy as I feel, believe it or not, I think I actually need the Jets to make me feel better about the Mets, and how sick is that? So everybody, I think we still got one chin in us. So let me hear it. Let's try that again. All right. I hope that came through, but anyway. All right, and I want to say hello to a couple of people here in the chat. Tony, alluding to the main content we're going to get to in a little bit. Don't do it, referring to don't make the trade for Fernando Mendoza. No trade-ups with too many holes to fill. I would say, Tony, if you get the right quarterback, that covers up a lot of holes. Lot of holes. Just saying. The great Grandizer gave us the Baba Booey, rooting for the Knicks. Fantastic. Looking good. Yeah, Knicks off till Saturday. Crazy. We got Pa2K99. Hello. Hope you're having a good holding down the fort there up in New Brunswick. We got the great David D. Loves his Islanders. All hail the new Wicker computer. That is right. I will just say this. The computer is officially named the Gift, and I am not somebody who names things. I've never named a car in my life, nothing like that, but I'm naming this computer, and it's called the Gift. So when I say I'm taking the Gift with me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Grandizer, Jet players stock up, stock down from the last game. Grandizer, if I do that, I'm going to run my head into the window because it goes up and down like a yo-yo for the most part. So I'll get into the snap counts. We'll get into all of that in just a few minutes. But Grandizer, who he likes his Dolphins, I'm sure he's going to enjoy this. So let's get into the recap of Game 13, and we will not make this a long one. But just for you, Grandizer, the photo that I chose is the Isaiah Williams punt return, so I'm sure you wouldn't mind. I can't believe I picked this team to win. Now, granted, in my confidence picks, I only put 2 points on the game, but now we are up to 15 years without a playoff appearance. Put it this way, we all know the Jets have the longest playoff drought in North American sports currently. But if you go since the NFL merger, the longest drought since the merger in 1970, there are only 3 teams worse than the Jets, all of them at 17 years. The Cleveland Browns from 2003 to 2019, the Buffalo Bills from 2000 to 2016, and the New Orleans Saints from 1970 to 1986. And would it shock anybody if the Jets wound up breaking this record? Wouldn't me. It wouldn't me. Man. So a couple of stats about this game. And this was a game, I really thought it was going to be a battle back and forth. I picked the Jets to win 24-23. And 10 minutes into this game, you knew the game was about 98% finished. Okay? You just look at the first half statistics. First downs, Miami 14, Jets 2. Jets 0 for 6 on third down. Total yards, Miami 246, Jets 47. Jets passing yards, 18, the 5th time this season with 20 or fewer passing yards in one half. No other team this season has more than 2 games like that. The Jets have 5. Yards per rush, Miami had 8.1, Jets had 3.2, and we all know if Devon Achane hadn't gone out of the game with a rib injury, it would have been higher than that 8.1. Time of possession in the first half, Dolphins, 19 minutes and 29 seconds, Jets, 10 minutes and 31 seconds. That is like Giants-Bills Super Bowl. Hey, Grandizer, I did mention since the merger. It's a little bit different when you go pre-merger, when you only had, just the championship game. So, yes, the Arizona Cardinals, but that's why I said since the merger. 4 years after that, I'm not counting the Cardinals. So, all right, so I'm going to talk about this offense. We all knew deep down Tyrod Taylor was going to get hurt. If you were being real with yourself, you knew Taylor was going to get hurt and he was going to go out. So the crowd that said, man, we would have won more games if Tyrod Taylor had been playing a couple games earlier. No, we wouldn't have. He just would have got hurt sooner. So that's why people saying we should have been playing Taylor for the last month. I'm sorry. I can't agree with it. Good guy, respected by his teammates. He gets hurt. He gets hurt falling out of bed. And I give Brady Cook a lot of credit, okay? He was put in a rough spot. Yes, the snap exchanges were a mess at times. I expect that in the first game where you're not a starter. But I like the deep throws. I thought he had a quick release, very smooth. The ball came out of the hand very easily. He didn't have a long, congealated windup, if that's even congealated, you know what I mean? But windup where it felt like it took 5 seconds to get the ball out. I watched Justin Fields, and it's like the hokey pokey. He puts his left foot in, he takes his left foot out, he puts left arm in, he puts the right arm up, and he shakes it all about. It takes 10 seconds for Justin Fields to get the ball out of his hand. But Cook was able to get rid of the ball earlier, just throw like he don't give a F, and I kind of like watching that. Now, some of the play calling, I didn't understand. Some quicker passes would have been a nice idea. There were times when Cook was holding onto the ball too long, and he would leave the pocket early, run around towards his left as a right-handed quarterback. He's here, and he turns all the way around, so he's running to his left. Which is the exact way if you're a right-handed quarterback, you don't want to be running, because when you're running to your left, it's kind of hard to throw across your body like that. And he did that, it felt like 4 or 5 times. And every time it was like, oh my God, just throw the freaking football out of bounds. And even then, when he did get the throws off, he wasn't getting a whole lot of help, was he? Drop after drop after drop after drop. 6 registered. Yeah, I think it was 6 drops. Dolphins got credit for 6 sacks, but this is the important thing to point out. Only 2 of those sacks were credited or discredited, if you will, to the offensive line. Most of it was because the quarterback was holding the ball too damn long, and that won't work. I know we don't have the greatest wide receivers in the world. He's probably waiting for somebody to get completely open, but you know what? It doesn't always work that way in the NFL. This ain't Ole Miss anymore, Brady. And how do you only throw 1 pass in the game to Breece Hall? Only 1 pass to Breece Hall? Why? I don't get it. Breece Hall, 1 target. Same number of targets in this game that Allen Lazard had, that Stone Smart had. What are we doing? Now, if I've got to give you something positive about this offense, I will point once again to Armand Membu. He had a 69.7 PFF grade. That ranks second among the team's offensive starters, only behind Olu Fashanu. So another good day for the tackles. I know it doesn't feel that way because of all the sacks, but it's true. Membu is an excellent run blocker. He got a 76.0 PFF run blocking grade, his highest grade since week 4. So again, you got to feel good about the offensive line and where it's going. Grandizer, Green Bean said those who said Brady Cook should have started now have their wish. Yeah. I wish it hadn't been a situation where he came in during the middle of a game. Hopefully with a good week of practice, as I knock on wood. I know, probably our least favorite phrase, good week of practice. This is one time I hope it's a good week of practice. If Aaron Glenn doesn't say Brady Cook had a bad week of practice, I'm going to be worried about it. Oh, you're here for the Mets yelling. You already missed it. But again, how can we let Pete Alonso go to Baltimore? And why does Satan's favorite team have to get the best closer in baseball? We'll just call that the encore. That's like the aftershock to the earthquake. Hey, Tetsuya, hope you're having a great night, my friend. I'm glad that you're here. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, you can always rewind just a little bit and catch up. I won't be offended if you do. All right, a couple things with the Jets defense. You know what was so hysterical on Monday night watching Philly and the Chargers play? There were more turnovers on one play than the Jets have had all effing season. There were, 3 turnovers on 2 plays alone? And I'm just laughing my ass off watching this. Like, how in the world are we this incapable of doing this when these other teams are just taking the football away like it's just the most natural thing in the world? At least 5 times they could have had a turnover. At least 5 times. 1 sack in the game, that was it. Too many times you had Jalen Waddle running open, and I don't even think there was another Jet defender on the screen. But what offended me the most was the run defense. It was despicable. 39 yards here, 21 yards here, 12 yards there. And again, that's without the Von Achane for 3 quarters of the game. 249 rushing yards for the Dolphins. 88 of those yards after the Jets missed a tackle. 10 missed tackles counted by 9 different players. It's not like it was one linebacker or one safety who was screwing it up for everybody. This was a team-wide stink fest on defense. 5.8 yards per run. Oh, and by the way, that's counting the 2 Zach Wilson kneel downs at the end of the game. Really, it was 6.1 yards per run. I know Zach didn't throw a pass. Didn't you just love it when the Milfer himself, the salmon burner, the 10-minute egg cooker came in the game and got to hand the ball off like football's fun now. I didn't know football was fun again. Couldn't you see that coming in early the first quarter? Like, Zach's going to be in this game. The only saving grace was he didn't throw a touchdown pass. Tetsuya, I may not give you too much Mets yelling, but you just got some Jets yelling, so I do hope you're happy. The great Harlan Abraham, Father Abraham and his many sons, the many sons of Father Abraham are here. I am one of them, and so are you. How you doing, brother? Scott Foster, cheers to you. Yep, just water tonight. Just water tonight. But cheers to you, my friend. Glad that you're here. Tony. Yep, Tony is back. One thing with Tony, I just wish he would be open about his opinions and what he thinks about things. You just never get an opinion from Tony. Never happens. Never happens. Yeah, exactly. I can't. Steve Wilks is not the right defensive coordinator. I understand the hire. You wanted to get some head coaching experience on this staff. It is a staff that is very young. I understand it. I get it. It didn't work. His defense is bad. Pretty much just about every defensive player has regressed from last year, and I don't think it's because they're overrated. There's certain players who just like to say, oh, Quinn was overrated, Sauce was overrated, Garrett's overrated. Now who now? Will and JJ are overrated, bro. Stop. When you have 9 different players missing tackles, that's a team that was not ready to play, and that's on the coaching staff. Mostly on the defensive coaching staff. Now, I can't speak for what the rest of the defensive assistants are, but I can say Steve Wilks is not working as defensive coordinator. And I absolutely hesitate to call for jobs because you know what? They all got families to feed. They got lives. I know the feeling. It sucks. It's scary. But you know what? He's made a few dollars over the years. He'll be okay. I'm sure he could get another 1-year gig somewhere else. He's very good at finding 1-year gigs, isn't Steve Wilks? Isn't he? Blame Glenn for the defense also. Hey, Glenn blamed himself for the team-wide performance, and you know what? He should have. When you come in, because one thing we could say about the Jets, they usually battle. They may make fundamental errors. They make mistakes, but they do at least fight. And they just looked on Sunday like they had no idea what to do. I know they don't have the horses. They did kind of stabilize the game a little bit. I know they don't have the horses to really make those types of comebacks. That's why you got to play 60 minutes and you got to play 60 clean minutes. And I could get on the officials. Some of the officiating was an absolute joke. Remember the Tua swing pass when they were deep in their own territory? When Miami was deep in their own territory, he throws the lateral pass and they consider it, call it an incomplete. To me, it looked clearly like it was backwards. Brandon Stevens picked it up, took it into the end zone. When they called that incomplete, I just sunk in my chair. My heart just sank at that moment. It was just very, very frustrating that would have happened. But so it is it was just brutal. Not that I'm blaming the officiating for the result of the game, but we didn't get any help. So, yeah. Tony, Jets defense had no fight or plan. Yeah. Harlan, it was a lateral. Nick, I feel like Mendoza is going to be a huge bust in New York. Well, Nick, here's what I would ask you. Are you saying that because of how he plays, or are you just scared to get your hopes up? Or because the Jets haven't shown a lot of history that they can develop quarterbacks? Not that exactly matters when you have a new coaching staff and a new front office. But you know what? How many quarterbacks in Kansas City developed before Patrick Mahomes came along? Just as a for instance. So I understand it if you're trying to temper your expectations and you don't want to get your hopes and expectations high only to get your heart broken again. But we'll talk a little bit about that, and who knows? Who knows? But I wonder if it's how you're really feeling or what you're afraid is going to happen. Grandizer, AG blamed Adam of New York Sports WickerMedia for putting added pressure on him by saying the Jets will win. He didn't need the pressure. That is true, and I will admit during the Isaiah Williams punt return, I may have gone like this. I might have been singing a little Earth, Wind, and Fire. I can neither confirm nor deny. So, from what I've seen, Moore and Simpson have more natural talent than him. I could say this. I'm not seeing a lot of natural talent in Ty Simpson. Dante Moore, pretty good. Ty Simpson, I ain't seeing it. I am not a fan of Ty Simpson. I am not on the Ty Simpson train. Yeah. I know I forgot the game was at the Jets. So, yeah, how the Jets get not. Oh, I guess it's not about that. You got to earn those calls. You know, it doesn't matter where the game is. If it's in New York, if it's in Miami, if it's in London, or if it's in the freaking North Pole, you got to earn the calls. That's the way it works. And some of the other things, the low block, I think it was on Qantas Stickers, and it was a shoulder-to-shoulder hit, and they called it a low block. Then you had a snap infraction on Josh Myers. When was the last time you saw a snap infraction penalty where he simulated the snap without snapping it? A snap infraction? Man alive. Man alive. Special teams, because I need something positive right now. I need something positive. Isaiah Williams, again, unbelievable. Another touchdown. And by the time he hit midfield, you knew he was taking it to the house. And again, blocking was so good on that. I want to give Arian Smith credit. He made a great play to down that punt. I know they called it a touchback because his foot hit the end zone and he hadn't reestablished positions yet. But Arian Smith, I thought, did a very good job getting down the field, doing something he hadn't really done before. So that was pretty encouraging. And that might have been maybe the second best play he's made all season. Okay, let's get into the snap counts. Wow, it's already, man, time's already flying here. All right. Snap counts. So let's get back into this. So we're going to start with the offense. They had 58 snaps on offense. 6 by Tyrod Taylor before he strained his groinal muscles. And Brady Cook played the remainder of the game, the next 52 snaps. Running back, Breece Hall, 44, Isaiah Davis, 14. So there was never a situation where the two running backs were on the field at the same time. Okay, so Breece took a pretty good drop. They gave Isaiah Davis a little more time. Andrew Beck got 7 snaps as well. Wide receiver, it just changes by the week, doesn't it? John Mechie played nearly the whole game. A.D. Mitchell played nearly the whole game. Then after that, look at this. Isaiah Williams, 33 snaps. He gets a little bit of an uptick. Alan Lazard got 9 snaps, down 10 from last week. Arian Smith had 1 snap on offense for the whole game after he came back from his benching. And Tyler Johnson was benched in this game, 0 snaps. And I got to tell you, if you look at consistency across the season, outside of Garrett Wilson, I can make the argument Tyler Johnson's been the Jets' best wide receiver. I'm not saying I want him back next year as a starter, anything like that, but Johnson can stretch the field. He can make a 15 or 20-yard catch for you when he's on the field. Now, the tight end usage, a little bit weird. Mason Taylor, only 38 snaps, down 17 from last week. Jets really going with multiple receivers and limiting the use of tight ends. Jeremy Ruckert got a tiny uptick, 31 snaps. Stone Smart had 3 snaps. And I do kind of get it with Mason Taylor because he had a rough start to the game, had a big drop, but I thought as the game went on, he got better as it went on. Offensive line, nothing really to talk about. 58 snaps for all 5 starters. On to the defense, 65 snaps, down 4 snaps from the previous week. Jermaine Johnson played 54 snaps, and I got to tell you, I hardly even noticed him on the field. Will McDonald, 45 snaps. I barely noticed him as well, down 4 from last week. Michael Clemens played the same 36 snaps. Tyler Barron, you got to feel for him. Played 1 snap and suffered a serious injury. He is now on injured reserve. It is a knee injury. And Eric Watts did not play in this game after playing the prior week. More on Eric Watts in a couple of minutes. Defensive tackle, Juwan Briggs. Maybe he may now be the best, he may be the best defensive lineman on the Jets. So I do have to tell you, I got a little bit of encouragement about the way he's playing. Again, another very good trade by Darren Muji, and you definitely have to pencil him in as a starter for next season. And let's put the do not disturb on. Harrison Phillips, 44 snaps. Jay Tufele, 19 snaps, went down a little bit. Kalen Saunders, 19 snaps. Mozzie Smith, no way he's going to be around next season. I think the coaching staff has pretty much already figured out why Dallas wanted to get rid of him. But again, it was about the 2 first-round draft picks, so it's okay. Linebacker Jamian Sherwood played the whole game. Speaking of players who got off to horrible starts, I would point straight to Jamian Sherwood in this game. Quincy Williams played the whole game as well. Michael Walker played 30 snaps, up 29 from last week. Kiko Malagoa, 16 snaps, up 15. Marcelino McCurry-Ball now on IR after doing the fish on the MetLife Stadium turf. He played 29 snaps last week, and he is now out for the foreseeable future. Cornerback, you had Brandon Stevens play the whole game. A.Z. Thomas played 59, had a brief injury, but did come back. Jordan Clark played 15 snaps. Quantez Stiggers played only 5. He came in when A.Z. went out. Jasir Taylor was benched for this particular game. And then on the safety side, you had Malachi Moore and Isaiah Oliver play safety. Tony Adams was not active for this game. All right. Yeah, Grandizer posting the schedule, posting the current draft spot. Yep, we're going to get into the Tankathon in just one. You know what? Actually, let's get into Tankathon right now. I think we're just going to go ahead and do that right now. Let's just make a couple of, let's go ahead and update. There we were. And of course, we got the teal in the background, appropriate considering we just played Miami and are about to play Jacksonville. I see we got a nice influx of people hanging out here in the chat. Welcome, new folks. Feel free to leave a comment. Got any thoughts? Got any questions? Anything on your mind? It's an open forum. This show's a hell of a lot more fun when we get to go back and forth. Tony's got some confidence in Cook. Maybe not the same level of confidence he has still in Chris Strevler. Cook with reps could win and ruin Tankathon. You know what? If that happens, so be it. If that means that we have a credible quarterback to at least be a backup for a period of time, I can't tell you I'd be overly upset about it. Because the way that Indianapolis is playing, that draft pick is getting better by the week. By the week. All right, let's look at the standings right now. So I got the top 10 here. We've got and now the bye weeks are over, so we don't have to worry about a 2-10 versus a 2-11 team. None of that. We've got the Giants, the Raiders, and the Titans all at 2-11. And of course, the tiebreaker is your strength of schedule. The easier the strength of schedule, the better your draft pick in the first round. Then in the second round, it reverses. So then in the second round, it would be Tennessee, the Raiders, and then the Giants at the beginning of the second round. Then you have 5, 3, and 10 teams. Cleveland, New Orleans, Washington. Wow. I'll tell you what, I thought Washington was bound for a disappointing season. I never imagined they would be 3 and 10. But with all the injuries Daniels has had, McLaurin's had, the defense got old very quickly. This is what happens. Then, and by the way, remember, Giants and Washington this week. That's a game that bears paying attention to. Not necessarily watching, but paying attention to. Jets at 3 and 10 as well. Arizona 3 and 10. And behind them, you've got 2 4-9 teams in Atlanta and Cincinnati. And with Joe Burrow back, I got a feeling Cincinnati's got a few more wins ahead of them. Now, the strength of schedule, as I always do, I put the strength of schedule difference on the chart for us. So the Jets are at 541. So the teams that are in green, the Jets have a better strength of schedule. They, as of now, would win the tiebreaker. And you notice you see a lot more red than you see green. So this isn't a good situation, guys. The Jets keep playing these good teams. And keep in mind, Jacksonville's coming up. Buffalo's coming up. New England's coming up. That strength of schedule is only getting better. Jets only have one bad team left, and that's New Orleans. Jets have about the 4th or 5th hardest schedule remaining. So my biggest hope is I look at this list and I see a couple of things. I look at the teams that need a quarterback. The Giants do not need a quarterback. Tennessee is not going to take a quarterback. Washington is not taking a quarterback. The Raiders will be taking a quarterback. That is the team I'm most worried about. And right now, the Jets are just a shade ahead of the Raiders on strength of schedule. But it's going to take the Raiders winning a game at some point for the Jets to pass them. And that's going to be huge because the Raiders would take Fernando Mendoza. The Jets and Raiders are very similar. They like a little flash, a little pizzazz, a little panache. With the Raiders, especially now that they're in Vegas, it's about the showbiz. It's about the attraction. It's about the entertainment. And I bet they would look at Mendoza as being that attraction. So I think it is vital that the Jets get ahead of the Raiders. Cleveland, I don't know. Shedeur Sanders is playing a little bit better by the week. New Orleans, I would have been convinced they were taking a quarterback, but Tyler Shuck, he shows you some toughness. Beat the Buccaneers last week, no small task. So the Raiders are the one team I would tell you I'm legitimately worried about as far as them taking a quarterback. All right. So now let's go to the Jets draft projections per Pro Football Index. So again, every week during the season, ESPN projects the draft order by simulating the remainder of the season 10,000 times. The good news is the Jets moved up their draft position last week from 6th to 5th. Now, currently, the Jets would be 7th, but based off simulating the rest of the season, the Jets would find their way into the top 5. So I've got the numbers compared from last week to this week. Our chances of earning the number 1 pick actually went up from 2% to 5.7%. To get a top 5 pick, 38.8% to 58.2%. And to get a top 10 pick, it's nearly a lock, 93% to 99%. Okay. So good week from that perspective for the Jets. Now, if you look at the odds to get the number 1 overall pick and the expected draft position, the first overall pick right now is expected to be the Raiders. They've got a 37% chance to do it. Then you've got Tennessee, then Cleveland. The Jets are a little bit behind the Giants. So the Jets are currently 5th on this chart. And then with draft position, the Jets are actually tied with the Giants at 5.1. They're a little bit ahead of Washington, and well ahead are the Raiders, the Titans, and the Browns. So basically, what ESPN is saying is good chance that the Raiders, the Titans, and the Browns have the first 3 picks in no particular order. Okay. And by the way, Tennessee, with the first overall pick odds at 24.1%, with that win over Cleveland, last week it was 47%. It dropped in half. So any Titan fan who wanted the number 1 overall pick, they can't be too happy about it. So we're not looking very good. I'm going to go back here. We're not looking good with tiebreakers. Here's what the Raiders have left. At Philadelphia, at Houston, home against the Giants, home against Kansas City. I'm hard-pressed to see a game that they can win. Sure, can they beat the Giants at home? I suppose they can, but I can't say I'm hopeful. So the one game that we got to watch very closely is Giants-Raiders. And if you're a Jets fan, to me, you got to be pulling for the Raiders to win that game at home, because I'd much rather have the Giants at number 1 than I would the Raiders. All right, let's roll forward a little bit to the draft power rankings. The Jets remain in first place. This is from Tankathon, where they value every team's draft position, every draft pick, with the draft chart points and assign a total rating. The Jets and Browns, far and away, numbers 1 and 2. Then you have the Raiders, the Steelers, the Titans, the Giants, and so on and so on. All right. Just a couple quick comments. Let's see. Harlan, the Jets should not trade up. They should fill the other positions first. Take a quarterback on day 3. You know what? If you want to take a developmental quarterback like the kid from North Dakota State or from the kid from Ole Miss, one of those type of guys, I'd be okay with it. But then I need another veteran in there. I need somebody else in there. I can't go back in with Fields and Taylor and a day 3 pick and Cook. I need one other piece of new blood. Like, I would say, if you want to get me a day 3 pick and Marcus Mariota for a year, I'm fine with that. Malik Willis, I'm fine. I would even take a chance on that. Kenny Pickett, maybe. Not overly excited, but I would like a little bit of youth and a little bit of upside. Just a little bit. So, but I would say this, don't be reaching for a quarterback if you don't truly believe in the quarterback. If you believe in the quarterback, you do what you have to do to go get him. But don't take a quarterback because you think you're supposed to do that. And I don't think Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn would do that. I just hope there isn't pressure coming from our beloved owner, basically saying, I got to sell next season. We need a quarterback. Take a quarterback. Give me something to sell. That would be my concern. Harlan, it's a terrible free agent class, okay? I know he's got small hands, but if he'll take a 1-year bridge deal, fine. I can't go back to Justin Fields anymore. I can't. Unless he agrees to some sort of rework contract or something like that. But usually that means you give another year on top of that. You know, again, I didn't say I'd be thrilled with it, but I'd be like, all right, 1 year, I can live with it. And actually, Kenny Pickett, he's going to be starting for the Raiders this week against Philadelphia. So we're all Kenny Pickett fans this week. Anybody excited about that? You're on the fence? Oh, yeah. I think you all got that, right? Yeah, Kenny Pickett on the fence. I can hear everybody. Yeah. All right. Okay. And by the way, and I do need to I got through the special teams part, but I forgot to say one thing. Major credit. Major credit. I'm gonna get the tankathon off. Major credit to Chris Banjo.
Storybox Audio.
Okay, there we go. Scott Foster is done with Justin Fields as well. No more Fields, for God's sake. Yeah, it's over. It's an experiment that we tried and it failed. Harlan, Jets will need to bring in another quarterback. I agree. I just can't find a free agent quarterback that we'd all be really happy about. I mean, again, I would go with Mariota. That would be my preference if he's willing to take a 1-year contract, you know. But how many quarterbacks are the Jets going to be paying next year? You already owe Aaron Rodgers, what, $35 million? Well, we're going to get to Aaron Rodgers actually in a second. Yeah, we thought it was $35 million, but it is not. As a matter of fact, it is not $35 million. Love the North Carolina dancing. You know what? I'm not completely North Carolina-ized, whatever the word would be. I did try a jar of Mount Olive pickles, and I got to tell you, not good. Mount Olive is a town in North Carolina. They're known for pickles. Not right. No. Give me a good jar of Grillo's pickles. I'll take Clausen's, but Grillo's or Nathan's, those are my go-to pickles. Yeah, I'm trying to get into some of the North Carolina stuff, but some of it works, but I cannot do pimento cheese. I just cannot do it. So, not for next season, for Sunday. I'm playing Brady Cook. So, as I'm getting a spam call here. Yeah, goodbye. You know what? Hey, the Jets just brought back Adrian Martinez to the practice squad. Would they actually activate him for the game if Fields and Taylor can't go? How funny would that be, right? All right, let's get into a little bit of news. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna get into some news. David loves the banjo music. I know you do. Harlan likes B&G pickles. What are B&G pickles? Is that a brand? B&G condoments. I got to be honest. That must be a local pickle because I've never seen B&G before. And down here, you could get some New York and New Jersey products. Like down here, I could get Taylor ham / pork roll, whatever you want to call it. I could get Nathan's products. I could get like the real Nathan's hot dogs with the natural casing. You know, the pack of 5 where you pay $2 a franc, the way that Nathan's hot dog should be. Okay, that's a big deal. But I've never seen B&G pickles before, but I'll at least look for them. Yep. Yeah. No sweet pickles allowed. I agree. All dill, all day. Absolutely. I'm all about it. B&G is a nationwide company. Okay. Well, I'll look for where they're available. Actually, no. Yeah. B&G pickles. All right. Now I got to do a pickle search. I didn't have a pickle search on my searching for pickles on my bingo card for tonight. Let's see. Taco seasoning blend. BG pickles. Yeah, I'm seeing the seasonings. I'm seeing a lot of seasonings, but I'm not seeing pickles. Yeah, I'm on bgpickles.com. Sweet roll, sweet pepper, all right, kosher pickle chips. Yeah. The Bloch and Guggenheimer families. Okay, I see what's up. Where can I find B&G products? Let me guess. You can find them in the condiment section of most grocery stores. Well, according to my zip code, I can only buy the spices. So I know you appreciate the picket fence joke. I know. All right. Yeah, I got to go dill pickles. Yeah, for sure. And the cool thing is I could actually find Grillo's at Costco. And I love those pickles. I like a half pickle. I've had the sour ones, the whole ones, not so good. But yeah, give me a good half pickle. I'll do a spear if I have to, but either the sliced pickles or the halves are what I like. And when you run out of pickles, get a cucumber or two, chop them up as thick as you like, and put them in that pickle brining liquid. And you're making your own pickles, and you get more use out of it. No reason not to, right? You don't have to dump all that pickling juice down the drain. Make some more of your own pickles. Okay, am I starting a cooking show? I'll tell you what, I would do some cooking. Believe me, I would do some of that. I think I just need a little more tech. Like, I'm here alone in the studio apartment in Raleigh, North Carolina. And it's one of those things I feel like I would need somebody else working the camera while I'm doing the cooking, or I'd have to set up multiple cameras. So I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I would have to invest in the technology to make it work. And also, I don't really have the most open kitchen. So I have an open island table. But, if you have a kitchen, most kitchens you're facing the wall because the stove's right there at the wall. If it's open, that makes it a lot easier. So that is something to keep in mind. Do I have Kroger or ShopRite near me? No, I don't have ShopRite. So we used to have Kroger in North Carolina before I moved down here. Kroger's in Virginia, but not North Carolina. So Harris Teeter and Kroger are basically one company. So all the Krogers became Harris Teeter. So that's what I have down here. So I really have Harris Teeter. Yep, Costco out west has Grillos too. Yeah, we got it down here too. I love it. Yeah, Jeremy talks about food when a guest is on. I could talk an hour about food. Believe me, I could go all night about food. Absolutely. Adam, do you remember the Jerky Boys prank call when they call up a pickle shop? What's up there? You pickle, up pickle, up pickle. Oh, I get okay. I haven't seen Jerky Boys, so I have not seen that. Yeah. Yeah, but definitely if you like pickles, save the liquid, make your own. I would definitely recommend that. Okay, so let's get into a little bit of news right now. First thing I actually want to talk about, believe it or not, is Aaron Rodgers. Now, why do I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers? Here's the important thing that I don't think most of us knew at the time. So the Jets released Rodgers and chose not to pick up his option. So $7 million of the cap hit was pushed into 2025. So what we were expecting is that the Jets would be charged $21 million, but it's actually $14 million. So because the Jets cap hit is $7 million less this year, they then get a $7 million cap credit for 2026. And so then next year, the actual cap hit for Aaron Rodgers is $28 million, not $35 million. So it might actually, so it's only going to be, if they let Fields go, if they cut him, then you're paying $50 million to two quarterbacks who will not be on the roster. $28 million to Aaron Rodgers and $22 million to Justin Fields, if that happens. So that is some good news. That is a little bit of extra cap space to work with. Scott Foster, look at Woody's shadow. What a tool. Yeah. Not exactly Tom Landry there in that corner. You remember the old silhouette from the old NFL films? Tom Landry of America's team. My John Facenda voice is not there right now, but yes, with America's team, Tom Landry and his trademark fedora. I have to go outside and smoke another cigarette. Yeah, not exactly Tom Landry, despite the hat silhouette. So very good catch, Scott. Very good catch. And then I thought this was pretty funny. Ravens moves. The Ravens signed Laken Tomlinson yesterday, and then to make room for him, who did they release? Carl Lawson. Two Jet disappointments as free agents for different reasons. One because of injury and one because of ineffectiveness. So what are you going to do? A couple of injury things to talk about. A number of Jets did not practice today, on Wednesday, I should say. Justin Fields doing some light running on the side. Not practicing Tyrod Taylor, Breece Hall, Quincy Williams, Harrison Phillips, Mason Taylor, A.Z. Thomas, Kiko Malagoa, and Stone Smart. That's a long list. Tyler Barron, as we alluded to, was assigned to IR, so his season is pretty much it's over at this point. And they signed Eric Watts to the 53-man roster. And welcome back Adrian Martinez. San Francisco chose to let him go. This is one of the Jets' preseason darlings at quarterback. The Jets have brought him back and placed him on their practice squad. You got to figure if Taylor and Fields are both not able to go on Sunday, Adrian Martinez could be backing up Brady Cook. Oh, precious Jesus. Oh, gosh. All right, let's get into some of the main content here. I'm going to spend a few minutes on. Fernando Mendoza. Now, I am not the type who likes to do a mock draft before we know the draft order, but I think what we can do, Tony is just obsessed with these running quarter. It was Chris Streveler, and now it's Adrian Martinez. Oh, boy. Tony has certain traits of the quarterback that he likes. I think we have very well established that. So here's the thing with Mendoza. His stats for the year: completed 71.5% of his passes, 226 for 316, 2,980 yards, 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, a passer rating of 181.4, lifted Indiana to an unbeaten season, 13-0, 3 wins over top 10 teams. I'd like to point that out. 3 wins over top 10 teams. Indiana may not be the SEC, but still pretty good. And so I look at a couple of the other trades that have happened over the last couple of years and try to get a feel for what it might take realistically. Again, we really don't know what it's going to look like. I'm just trying to get a feel for it. So I look at Bryce Young. That was probably the last really big one. So to move from 9-1, the Panthers received Bryce Young. They trade up from 9-1 with the Bears. The Bears got DJ Moore, a very good wide receiver, the number 9 overall pick. Then a 2023 second-round pick that was used to draft Tyreek Stevenson, a 2024 first-round pick, which was used to draft Caleb Williams, and a 2025 second-round pick used to draft Luther Burden. So basically 2 1s and 2 2s to move up 8 spots. So if the Jets are somewhere around 9, it's going to take a lot. I think it's the 2 1s this year plus more than that. Maybe one of the 2s in 2027. Mitch Trubisky, that was an interesting one. So the Bears moved from 3-2 in 2017, I believe it was. They sent the number 3 pick plus a 3, a 4, and another 3 to move up 1 spot. So it was a lot of mid-round picks to move up that 1 spot from 3 to 2. And when I show you the draft chart, we're going to talk the draft chart in a moment, and we'll see what picks are really the most valuable, where the biggest falls are, and where it starts to not be as big of a deal in between 2 first-round picks. So we're going to get into that. As for Sam Darnold, the trade where the Jets moved up, they sent number 6, 2 second-round picks, and then another second-round pick the following year to Indy to move up 3 spots. So when Mike McCagnon made that trade, he didn't go first round, but it was 3 second-round picks. Certainly very valuable. Oh, let's check it out. The great Rusty Spooners here. No trade-ups. Get Tate and Styles with our first. Get Diego Pavia later. I do like Pavia from Vanderbilt. First team All-SEC, Heisman top 4, winner of the Golden Arm Award, goes to the best senior quarterback in the nation. Again, if you had a little more size to him, I'd be really, really interested. But again, he's what, 6 foot even? Maybe, if that, with lifts and issues. And I hate to tell you, but that sort of thing does matter. 6 foot, 207 pounds, 23 years old, very, very mature. If you were to draft him in the mid rounds, I would be game. I'm not using a first round pick though to draft Pavia. Not yet anyway. Because you can teach a lot of things, but you can't teach height. Harlan, you know what the bad part about the trade is that we didn't give him anything to work with. I mean, we drafted Sam Darnold. You know what our next pick after that was? Nathan Shepard, who's, a decent NFL defensive tackle. He's decent, but the number 1 receiver we gave him was what? Brashad Perriman? Robbie Anderson. I mean, the offensive line was meh at best. We didn't put Sam in a position to succeed, and that's why he kept regressing. That's the issue. The best franchises know how to develop players. They put systems in place for them to succeed. The Jets haven't done that, especially with the quarterback position. Tarkenton was 6'2". Yeah, that was a long time ago, though. And I know Drew Brees is pretty short as well, but you got to have some other special traits if you're going to succeed as a 6 foot tall quarterback. Not saying you can't, but you got to be exceptional in other ways, whether it's accuracy, whether it's footwork, leadership skills. You got to have something else going for you if you don't have the size. So right now, this is sort of the deal. The Jets projected, and I'll do that. The Jets projected draft spots. I'm not talking about where they are. I'm talking about what is projected for the rest of the year. The Jets are projected to finish with picks 5 and 17. All right, so they're picking Indianapolis to miss the playoffs and wind up at 17. Now, if the Jets wind up at 5 and 17, I'd be throwing a party. I'd be thrilled with that. So if you look at the point value, as you can see on the chart, it's 1,700 points for the 5th spot, and I'll let you know for pick number 17, it's 850. That's 2,650 points. So what I have here is the top 10 picks and what the value is. So notice the first 4 picks, it drops by 400 points per pick. 3,000, 2,600, 2,200, and 1,800. Then for 4 more picks, it goes down by 100. So there's a difference between picks 4 and 5 and then 8 and 9. Okay, that's where the drop-offs are. So you got your first 4 picks, you got your next 4 picks, 1,700, 1,600, 1,500, 1,400. Then it starts to really decrease, 50 points again. So that is really important to keep in mind. So ideally, you combine 5 and 17, and you should be able to trade certainly up to possibly even up to number 2, depending on how much competition you have. Possibly the Jets might have to do maybe another mid-round pick or an exchange of picks or something like that to move up a little bit further. My hope is they will not have to trade up to number 1 to make that pick. But if it's a situation where they have to move up 3 spots and throw in another first-round pick to do it, if you believe in the quarterback, then in my mind, you go do it. I'm not yet saying if I would say I would go do it, but that's likely what it would take. Because again, we know the Raiders need a quarterback. Cleveland and New Orleans could want a quarterback. I think New Orleans is a little bit of a bigger concern because I got more confidence that Cleveland is going to ride with Shedeur Sanders more than New Orleans is going to ride with Tyler Shough. And remember also Cleveland, they got an extra first-round pick, just like the Jets do. So all of that is important to keep in mind. Yeah, Russell Wilson, 5'11". Yep, he had a very good career, no doubt about it. Yep. But again, surrounded by a lot. Surrounded by a great coach, pretty good offensive line, had some real weapons. Guys like Golden Tate, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, had some good running backs over the years. So, and also, he had the mobility too. So first thing we really need is a true quarterback coach. Yep, I'm not arguing that at all. Yeah, I don't know. I know we got North Turner's kid on staff. Maybe we could bring in the old man for a little bit of consultation. You know what I'm talking about? Bring in North for a couple of days. Just don't have him talk to Aaron Glenn about how to be a head coach. We don't need that going on. Pavia should be around on day 3. You know what? If that's what you're taking, like in the 4th round, I'm completely on board. Yeah, I would absolutely do it. Absolutely do that. Oh, by the way, we do have some draft news. I have some very good draft news. Hopefully, if Jake hears this, he won't mind me stealing his gimmick. But hey, I've been using that draft chime too. Starting next year, in the 1st round, it will not be 10 minutes between picks. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. It will be 8 minutes. So thankfully, we don't have to worry about the frickin' 1st round ending at midnight. Maybe 10:45 to 11 p.m. because we don't need 10 minutes between draft picks in the 1st round. So that is some very good news. I think that's good for the fans. I think that's good for us, the audience. Maybe the networks don't love it because they want to milk every single interview. We got to break down the fashion choice or the complete lack of fashion sense. It's like, why are you wearing teal pants with a fuchsia jacket? All that crap with, green braids coming down. I don't know. But we don't need 10 minutes between draft picks. So only 8 minutes. I do like that. Okay, so let's get that out of there. And now we're going to talk a little bit about this week's game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence getting beat up pretty good in that spot. I think the 10 minutes was so teams could make trade. You know what? They had 6 months. They've had months to make trades. Oh, by the way, yes, please hit that thumbs up button. We get 15 likes. We will spin the wheel. I put a post up. I have restored the wheels. We have them back. I had to recreate a few of them, but I've saved them to the cloud as opposed to a local file. So we will not lose the wheels ever again. So that is some very good news. We're still a few likes away. So if you like to spin the wheel tonight, got to do that. And if we do, I'm probably going to have to go get my charger. Tony wants to trade down a few spots and fix our defense with more selections. We still got a lot of cap space, but yeah, there's definitely, I would turn over, I would say half this defense for sure. Yeah. The defense needs a lot of help for sure. There are some pieces to work with. You've got some good cornerbacks. I still think Sherwood is a good linebacker if you have the right piece next to him. I still refuse to believe they would have signed Sherwood if they didn't believe he was the right fit. Phillips and Briggs are fine in the middle. I definitely think we need an edge rusher. Will and JJ are okay, but you need more than that. So I'm okay at corner. I know guys like Connor Hughes and Zach Rosenblatt, they want to add another cornerback. I'll roll with Stevens and Thomas and Brownlee for a little bit longer. But certainly you need a safety because the safety play right now, if you want to play Malachi Moore, that's fine. But you need a better safety. You definitely need an edge rusher, and I think you need a better linebacker, preferably one who's actually good in coverage. Really need a linebacker who's good in coverage. Rusty, thank God for Indianapolis Jones and the tendon of doom. Dude, oh, man. Not happy about serious injuries yet. Did you see the 26 Indy opponents yet? They're going to be less in the NFL, and it will benefit us greatly. I'm a little bit. I don't like to look at the opponents until we actually have like a more of a roster in place. But all right. I'll look at them. Who are they playing? They got to be playing either the NFC North or the NFC West. It's got to be one of the two. 2026. Yeah, they're playing. Yeah, they're playing the East. Oh, yeah, they're playing the. So Indy's playing the NFC East. Okay. Looks like they got they're playing the AFC North as well. Yeah, so outside the division opponents, let's see, Baltimore, Cincy, Dallas, and the Giants, AFC East, and 9 road games, Cleveland, Houston, Jacksonville, Philly, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Washington, AFC West, and NFC North to be determined. Yeah, I can't already say, this team is definitely going to be last. I can't go there. So we're not officially playing the Colts yet. We could be playing the Colts. But the Colts would have to actually, no, that's not going to happen because the Jets are going to be last in the division and the Colts can't be last in the division. So yeah, it's not going to be Jets Colts next year. So no more Tony Adams and Michael Clemens. You know what? Michael Clemens will be here, but long after we're gone, our kids are gone, their kids are gone, the kids after them's kids are gone. Michael Clemens will always be a New York Jet. They will just rename the stadium Michael Clemens Field at MetLife Stadium. It'll be the Michael Clemens Ring of Honor. The goalposts will be wrapped in barbed wire until the end of time. Michael Clemens will outlast us all. He will. All right, just a few things to know about the Jaguars. All right, since week 9, Jacksonville has a record of 5-1. They have been streaking as of late. But you got to look at the teams they've been playing. In that 6-game span, they played the Raiders, the Texans, the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Titans, and the Colts. This is not Murderer's Row. Keep in mind, the Raiders and Cardinals took them to overtime. So these wins have not been pretty. Jacksonville has been feasting on a bad schedule. Number 2. Yeah, I thought we said you guys are. It's okay, Rusty. It's okay. It's the AFC East to be announced. Is what I just saw. When I looked. The Jaguars are currently favored by 12.5 points. That is the biggest favorite spread they have had in the last 18 years. You got to go back to 2007. Oh, I see we got 15 likes. So that means that we will be spinning the wheel in a little bit. Great job, guys. Thank you very much for doing that. Yeah, so it's either $15 in super chats or 15 likes and we spin the wheel. So that's pretty much what we're doing at this point. So number 3, we know that the Jets, when it comes to turnovers, that has been a nightmare for us. Devin Lloyd is tied for second in the NFL with 5 interceptions. 5 interceptions. He's a linebacker and he's got 5 interceptions. He's second only to Kevin Byard of the Bears in picks for the season. Number 4, since week 10, the defense is 7th in the league in pressure rate at 39.4. This is not good for the Jets who are starting a rookie quarterback. And number 5, turnover ratio. Jacksonville is +8. The Jets are -15. Ugh, God. Painful. Very, very painful. All right. So that's a few things to know. And also, of course, watch over the next couple days. Thursday, I will drop my confidence picks where I will attempt to pick all 16 games correctly. And then by Friday, I will have up the Jets-Jaguars full game preview, as well as the video where I do my 5 bowl predictions and score position. Rusty, I'm just going to keep coming back to this. You get the right quarterback, it covers up a lot of holes, and that can lift up a whole team. We got to keep remembering that. Keep remembering that. Which wheel are we going to do? Harlan says. I think we'll do the Jets 100 wheel. Yeah, I actually had to recycle an old Jets 100 wheel. I made a couple of little updates to it. All right. Please stop calling. Uh, Okay, so let's go ahead and do something that we do every single week. It is a tradition around here, and we do this every single week. You know what happens? Every week, I head down into the labyrinth of Jets knowledge. I bust open the books. I dust off the Encyclopedia Britannica. I pull up the Jets dark web, and I, Watsu K99, challenge you, the most loyal fans of the most loyal fan base in the National Football League. Just how much do you know about your New York Jets? So if you are ready, I know you are ready. You've been waiting all week for it. Let's play Jets trivia. Okay. I think my volume's good on this thing. Yeah. Yeah. Are the sound effects coming in okay, guys? I just want to make sure. Yeah, they should be. Just let me know if anything's kind of weird with the sound effects when I play those. Should be all right, but just give me a heads up. Okay, so here's the deal. Good. Okay, thanks, Tony. So 5 minutes is what I'm going to put on the clock. I'll be tracking it. You know how it works. I'll put the trivia question on the screen and pop your answers right down there in the chat, and I will let you know if you have a correct answer. So, of course, it is a Jets Jaguars trivia question, and your question tonight goes like this. The Jets' only overtime win ever against Jacksonville was in 2017. It was a 23-20 win. There were two Jets who scored rushing touchdowns of 69. There's that number, 69 yards or more. Name those two players. Rushing touchdowns of 69 yards or more in 2017. Can you name them? Now, last week, as you remember, the great Nick Shine was here, and he knocked it out. A couple hints, but he absolutely knocked it out. What are we going to do tonight? Let's see. How am I doing? I'm just going to check how my battery's doing. I should be good for got about a third of the juice left. All right, I got about a half hour. All right, I got about a half hour on this thing. All right, I'll let it run a little bit longer. Okay, Tony Alexio starts with Chris Ivory. Is it Chris Ivory? No, Chris Ivory sadly was no longer a Jet by 2017. Okay, back to the comments. All right. So 2 rushing touchdowns, 69 yards or more, 2017. So that was during the Todd Bowles years. Ryan Fitzpatrick was gone by this point. Harlan Abraham goes with Sam Darnold. How about Sam Darnold? Yeah, I think if Sam Darnold had run for 69 yards, we would all remember the play. Sam unfortunately did not do it. Rusty goes, Rusty and Scott Foster are kind of tag teaming this one with Bilal Powell. Is it Bilal Powell? It sure is. Bilal Powell did it, ran for 75 yards to score a touchdown against the Jaguars. All right, you got one more player to name. Can you do it? That's right. Rusty and Scott. Yep. The hang 10. I feel the fist pump between you two. Very good. All right. So Bilal Powell did it. One other running back, lesser known running back, did it. Robbie the Chosen One, Scott Foster said. Is it Robbie Anderson? No. No, wasn't Robbie. Could see it happening, but no, not in this case. I can tell you it is a running back. This is not like a wide receiver play, anything weird. It is a running back. Rusty goes with Matt Forte. How about Matt Forte? Afraid not. All right, we got about 2 minutes left. Lee Cravat. How about Lee Cravat? What do you want? What do you want from me? All right. Let's see if I can narrow this down a little bit. He's played for a lot of different teams. He's not in the NFL, and he didn't have a very long career in the NFL. I can tell you that, but he played for a lot of teams. We might have still had Forte in 17, but he definitely didn't do it. All right. So one other player, he actually played in his career for 5 different teams, 5 different franchises. No idea. All right. We've got franchises he played for. His career only lasted about 5 years, but obviously relatively recent. He was playing in the last 10 years. It's not a name that we necessarily remember very well because I think he was only with the Jets for two years. Yeah. He was only a Jet for 2 years. EM was his initials, right? I can neither confirm nor deny. All right. So after this, we'll do the wheel. We'll do a 100 Jets wheel, and I think at that point we'll call it. We'll call it. So, all right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Rusty, you were right there. You are right. EM are those are his initials. The correct answer is Bilal Powell and Elijah McGuire. Eli McGuire, yeah. So played with Kansas City, played with Cleveland, played with Dallas, played with Miami, but he started his career with the New York Jets, played for 2 years. Only really played 1 year because in that second year he hurt his foot. He went on injured reserve, and that sort of started to mess things up. So yeah, so that is the answer to the question tonight. So good try, guys. All right. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and move that over here. All right, guys, it is time to do the wheel. We're going to spin the Jets wheel. So I am going to go ahead and pull that up. So share screen, Jets 100. There we go. All right. So let's see. So let's hide that. All right, everything should be good and ready to go. So I will be tracking your comments through my phone. So for anybody who may be new, the way that this works is we've got 100 random New York Jets on this wheel, players, and we've even got a couple of stipulation spaces to make things a little bit more fun. So we are going to spin this random wheel, and we are going to land on a player. And we've got everybody here from Curtis Martin to Christian Hackenberg. So when that happens, you all will put in the chat blind ranking where you want to put that player, anywhere from 1 to 10. And our goal at the end of this is to go in order from best Jet at 1 to worst Jet at 10 and get the order right all the way through. So, and the other thing that we do to make it a little bit more fun, pick a player on the wheel, put that player's name in the chat. Scott's already on it. He's already taken Ken O'Brien. If we land on that player, you get to pick where on the list you want to put that player. So once you pick the player, that's your player. If you want to change it, put another player's name in there. I'll keep track of it. So I see David wants Wayne Corbett. Okay, very good. I'll give everybody a minute or so to figure out what players they want. So we've got Ring of Honor and we've got Ring of Shame Jets here. No question about it. I have added Sauce Gardner and Quinn Williams to it, by the way, because we only use former Jets. Just want to point that out. Just want to point out the top 3 posters so far tonight. Grandizer at number 1. I've got David at number 2, and I've got Tony Alexio at number 3. So thank you, guys. Tony goes with Mark Gastineau. All right, I'll give everybody just a few more seconds. I'm going to grab the charger, and I'll be back in about 20 seconds. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's plug that in as the energy saver wanted to go on. Elijah McGuire, yes, he was with the Dolphins. Exactly right. Okay, Grandizer is a bit behind. Rusty's got Mo Lewis. Okay, there we go. All right, I think we're good. I'm gonna take Vinny Testaverde. Okay, so I'm going to go with Vinny. So, our first spin on the new Wicker computer, which will forever be known as the Gift. We are spinning on the Gift, and we're going to do our first spin of the night in three. Harlan, I got you. Joe Klecko, got it, brother. Okay, 3, 2, 1. You're all picking good Jets, I noticed. And we start with Kyle Brady. Oh, boy. All right, Kyle Brady. Actually, I'm going to turn the applause off because I really don't. Yeah, we don't need. We don't need any applause. Let's go ahead and save that. Kyle Brady is not worthy of applause. Okay, so on this 1 to 10 list, we want Sap. We want Sap. Yep, you're exactly right, Rusty. I'll pull Kyle Brady's stats up really quick, but everybody start thinking about where we want to rank him on this list. So Kyle Brady, of course, a very controversial first-round pick of the New York Jets back in 1995, was with the Jets for only 4 years before, ironically, heading to the Jaguars for the bulk of his career. It was actually there 8 seasons with the Jets, 93 catches, 949 yards, 10 touchdowns. Well, that would have been a nice maybe 2 seasons, but unfortunately, that was 4 seasons. All right, I'm seeing a variety of numbers, but all kind of on the back half of the list. I'm seeing 6, I'm seeing 7, I'm seeing 8. Certainly did not live up to the billing of being a first-round tight end. No doubt about that. But that last year with the Jets, he did have 5 touchdowns. He did get a little bit better over time. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going kind of around 6 to 7. I think 7's pretty good. I think I'm kind of with Harlan is. Yeah, I'm thinking I might split the difference and go with that one. All right. Rusty 7, Harlan 7. Okay, I think we're in a good spot. Kyle Brady gets spot number 7. And I'm going to put the results in here just so we can keep track. Harlan, tight end should not be taken in the first round. Yeah, unless it's like Gronkowski or, a generational tight end. Brock Bowers, I'll give you Brock Bowers too. Maybe one tight end every 5 to 10 years. And Trey McBride's coming on, but is he really that level? I don't know. Grandizer wants Kyle Clifton. Okay. Very good. Okay, let's go to spin number 2, and we're going to spin it in 3, 2, 1. And we come to a stop. Oh, I think we're going to get it. Oh, it's Kyle Clifton, Grandizer. Unbelievable. Grandizer's like, we thought Grandizer was lagging behind. Apparently Grandizer was able to see the freaking future. How about it? All right, so Kyle Clifton pulling up some stats. I know, it's pretty fun. It's pretty good. So Grandizer, you get to pick where Kyle Clifton will go on this list. Played with the Jets for his entire 13-year career. 3 times led the NFL in tackles. The most he ever had in a season was 174. Was never really a sack artist. Only had 5.5 career sacks, but almost 1,500 career tackles. Never got to a Pro Bowl or anything like that. Just clean things up. So, Grandizer, this one's on you. So we got 2 Kyles in a row. I pray to God we don't get Kyle Wilson next. But anyway, Kyle Brady, Kyle Clifton, Grandizer. I'm looking in the chat. Where would you like to put Kyle Clifton on this list? I have an idea, I think, where I would put him, but it's all about you. This one's your choice. And also, Grandizer, after this, you can go ahead and pick another player since you got this one right. Tony is trying to convince Grandizer to put him at number 3, but it is Grandizer's call on this one. All right, Grandizer. Hopefully you're catching up. Yep, we need your where you want to put him. As the chat awaits with anxious breath. I'm going to find more random Kyle Clifton stats in the meantime. Was drafted in the third round of the 1984 draft at number 64. Played college at TCU, Texas Christian University. And supposedly he was at the alumni weekend this past week, from what I saw. I think Jeff Loggeman said that Kyle Clifton showed up, so that's pretty cool. Grandizer, did you go to take a leak or something? What's going on here, man? All right. I'm gonna give Grandizer about 30 seconds. After that, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, Rusty wants 5, Tony wants 3. If I don't hear from Grandizer, I'm just gonna split the difference and call it a 4, which I think is actually a reasonable place for Kyle Clifton to be. So, Grandizer, just 9,000 people waiting for your decision. Oh gosh. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and put Kyle Clifton at number 4. Just kind of split the difference. I think it's a fair place for him. All right. So we're just going to do that. Yeah. Oh, there's Grandizer. Yep, you got it right. We had him at number 4. Are you okay with number 4? I know you didn't see this one coming, but you want to put him at number 1? Really? You want him? Yeah. Here's my question: do you have that much confidence in Kyle Clifton, or do you have that little confidence in the rest of the wheel? That's my. If you want him at number 1, then that's gonna. All right. Kyle Clifton, number 1 on the list. All right. I heard jaws just drop all over America as they witness this. But Kyle Clifton, number 1 on the list. It's up to Grandizer. So there you go. All right, crazier, but let's find out in 3, 2, 1. And Grandizer, you can pick another player now that you got that one right. If you'd like to take somebody else. Oh, this is a good one. We land on the great Lavernius Coles, and notice Lavernius is spelled properly. That's right. So Lavernius Coles, very, very good NFL career. And ironically, now a cop in Jacksonville. I wonder if he'll be working the game this Sunday, right? Yeah, much credit to Lavernius Coles for wearing the badge and trying to make the world safer, especially a town like Jacksonville that could use a little bit of police presence. They could use some help for sure. So I think that's pretty great. But Lavernius had 7 years with the Jets, 459 catches, 5,941 yards, 37 touchdowns. Never made a Pro Bowl as a Jet, but definitely was Chad Pennington's go-to guy for that brief period of time. 3 years with the Jets, then 2 years with Washington, came back for 4 more years with the Jets. So where are we going to put Lavernius Coles? I see a 3. I see a 5. Yeah, I can't quite go Ring of Honor level with him, but I would definitely put him in the upper echelon. Like, to me, he's got to be top 5. All right, I see a 3. I see 3. I see 4. I see 5. All seems pretty balanced there. Yeah, it'd be tough to get 2 players like Kyle Clifton, Lavernius Coles. I feel like, I don't know. Both very good Jets, maybe not Hall of Famers, but very good Jets. I can make an argument with this list considering Kyle Clifton's number 1, that Coles could be number 3. Yeah, I got to go high, Rusty. I got to go a little higher than 5, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know, but all right, guys, smack down those votes. Let's put those votes in there. Give you about 30 seconds. All right. It looks like we're going to put him at number 4. All right, so Lavernius Coles will get spot number 4. Very good. Oh, did I say 5? I meant 4. Yeah, 4. That's it. Rusty, I like Coles, but I like Moss more. I understand Moss had the speed, but Coles to me was a better route runner for one thing, and he was more durable. That's what I like. But Moss was the more exciting player. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go to spin number 4. So to recap, Kyle Clifton at 1, Lavernius Coles at 4, and Kyle Brady at 7. This is going to be interesting. Let's spin in 3, 2, 1. And of course, if we land on the same player, we keep going. Well, we're going to go to the bottom of the barrel here. We've got Stephen Hill, a classic second round bust, a classic wide receiver bust. The only time he was really good is when he was playing against the Bills. He did have a couple of touchdowns. Can't deny that. But his career lasted 2 years. He had 4 touchdowns in those 2 years. But his catch percentage was only around 42%. Just did not have a good career. What can I say? 500. He averaged. He had 500 under 600 yards over 2 seasons. Just not enough for a second round pick. Just did not work. I don't know if I would quite put him at number 10, but certainly I got to put him below Kyle Brady. Tony and Rusty coming in hard. So Harlan's going 8, Rusty's going 9. Yeah, I think the 8-9 range is about the right place for Stephen Hill. Because he did have a couple of touchdowns, but ultimately a tremendous disappointment. First round bust or 2 before we're done tonight. So all right. I'm kind of leaning 8, but I could go 9. So right now it looks like we're deadlocked between 8 and 9. All right. Looks like the 9s are pulling ahead. Okay. All right. I will put Stephen Hill in spot number 9. All right. So that's 4 picks made, 6 picks to go. And remember, we've got some spaces on here where we remove the last pick. We can delete any pick that we want. We get a free pick for any spot we want. Also, there's some crazy things that can happen with this wheel. Let's go to spin number 5 in 3, 2, 1. Actually, Nick Folk is on the field. So if we get him, then that would be the one current Jet who's there. Oh, there's Nick Folk. And we land on, it's going to be a good one. One of my all-time favorites, the great Jericho Cotchery out of NC State, which is only about 3 or 4 miles away from where I am currently sitting. And Jericho was just tough as nails, man. I think the classic play is that overtime catch where he basically tore his groin but still stayed with the play and converted a big 3rd down. Spent 7 years with the Jets, then 3 in Pittsburgh, 2 in Carolina. With the Jets, 358 catches, 4,514 yards, 18 touchdowns, 234 first downs also. So just a good chain mover, good tough player. And when he left after 2010, when he wanted out, it was never the same after that. The Jets were never, ever the same. They replaced him with Derek Mason, and the downfall basically began at that point. So Jericho Cotchery. Now keep in mind, we've got Clifton at 1. We've got Lavernius Coles at 4. Kyle Brady at 7. So are we ranking him? So, yep. Hey, Tony, I got you. You put a 4. So Coles is 4, so we can't put Cotchery there. Are we putting Cotchery over Coles or under Coles? Yeah, both receivers had 7 years with the Jets. And to be honest with you, if you want to put him above or below, I would not be bothered either way. Jericho was very clutch. Yep, looks like we're going 5. All right. Yep. Yeah. This one's basically unanimous at this point. Just about. Okay, so 5 is Jericho. Very good. Okay, I like it. So far to recap, number 1, Kyle Clifton. Number 4, Lavernius Coles. Number 5, Jericho Cotchery. Number 7, Kyle Brady. Number 9, Stephen Hill. So what we got to fill is spots 2, 3, 6, 8, and 10. So that's what we're looking at. I'd say so far we're still alive. All right, let's go to spin number 6 in 3, 2, 1. And we're going to come to a stop on, we're getting a lot of wide receivers tonight, aren't we? Keyshawn Johnson, the Jets' only number 1 pick in the NFL draft since the merger, I believe. Yep. So, yep, out of USC, definitely came loud, came in brash, came in with confidence, and there we go. As the computer's running it's running a little slower than I would want. There we go. Maybe I should turn it up for performance level here. Let's see here. Okay, so Keyshawn Johnson's stats: played only 4 years with the Jets, which is amazing, but he had 2 Pro Bowl appearances. Then he won 4 years in Tampa, 2 in Dallas, 1 in Carolina. With the Jets, he had 305 catches, 4,108 yards, 31 touchdowns, basically 8 touchdowns a season, 210 first downs, 100% of the passes thrown his way. Of course, also had that great playoff game against Jacksonville where he had an interception as well, picking off a Hail Mary. Actually had a rush as well. So, but the exit was not very good. But I do believe that the trade for Keyshawn gave them the number 1 pick that they used to draft Chad Pennington, I believe. And was durable. Missed only 2 games in the 4 years he was a Jet. So where are we putting Keyshawn Johnson? Wow, 6. Man, people want to put people not in love with Keyshawn. All right. Keyshawn Johnson, number 6. Yeah, 3 6s in a row. That's very ominous. So this is almost turning into the wide receiver wheel. Half of our picks so far are wide receivers. Let's go to spin number 7. And to fill up, we have to fill spots 2, 3, 8, and 10. I got to tell you guys, I'm a little bit worried about that 2 and 3 in between Clifton and Coles. But let's see what we could do in 3, 2, 1. And of course, we still have the option to remove any pick we want if we land on it. Oh, are we landing on Keyshawn again? We are, so we're going to respin like that. All right, and we got to respin for another time because we landed on Kyle Brady. Leon Washington. I'll tell you what, I don't think I hate this pick. You wanted to put Leon Washington in maybe that 2 to 3 range in between Clifton and Coles. I wouldn't necessarily hate it. Leon Washington is certainly one of the best returners that we have ever seen. Him getting hurt that one season, when we went to the AFC Championship game, really, really hurt. And was even coaching for the Jets for a little while there. But Leon played 9 years in the NFL, only 4 seasons with the Jets. It definitely felt like more. But with the Jets, let's see, he had 370 runs for 1,782 yards, 13 touchdowns. Also had 123 catches for 969 yards and 2 touchdowns. I got to pull up the return stats. I mean, you can't talk Leon Washington without talking returns, right? And he had how many touchdowns with the return touchdowns with the Jets? Where is this? Oh, yeah, punt return. So he never had a punt return touchdown, but he had 4 kick return touchdowns with the Jets, including 3 in one season. Was a Pro Bowler. 2008 was first team All-Pro as well. Unfortunately, it was 2009 when he got hurt. So if you wanted to put, Leon was awesome too. All right, looks like we're not really having many debates here tonight, guys. I'm actually quite surprised. All right, Leon gets spot number 3. Okay, so we got to fill spots 2, 8, and 10. And now we're going to spin that wheel. This is spin number 8 in 3, 2, 1. Leon was electrifying. True weapon. Absolutely. Yeah, he's just the guy that we love. Yeah, it's easy to love Leon. Oh, Kenny O'Brien. Wow. Okay, we've got a quarterback here. And if you know what? I feel like Ken O'Brien is kind of polarizing. Some Jet fans love him, some fans not so much. But there are some Jet fans who would say he's maybe the second or even second to third best quarterback the team ever had. We can have that debate if you want. I think the big thing is, they drafted him instead of Dan Marino. But if you look at the statistics, played 9 years with the Jets, had a record of 50, 55, and 1, completed 58.8% of his passes, 124 touchdowns to 95 interceptions, over 24,000 yards. That's pretty good. Was a Pro Bowler once, was Offensive Player of the Year, finished fifth in Offensive Player of the Year in 1986. Got sacked a lot. 1985, he got sacked 62 times. 1989, sacked 50 times. That was the most in the NFL. But average yards per attempt in 85, 8.25. That was the most. He definitely had his moments, but the Jets only had so much success with him. So, all right, he's definitely not going to be 10 or 8, so got to go second. Beat Marino a few times. All right, yep, looks like we're all agreeing. Number 2, I picked Kenny. Scott said, plug. Oh, that's right. You did pick him. Plug him in at 2. Good job, Scott. Yep, you're right. Yep, I wrote it down. You did pick Kenny. Okay. All right, guys. So number 2, Kenny O'Brien. And so we've got led the league in passing 1 year. Not in yards, but he did in passer rating. Exactly what he did. All right, so let's recap where we are, guys. Number 1, Kyle Clifton. Number 2, Ken O'Brien. Number 3, Leon Washington. Number 4, Lavernius Coles. Number 5, Jericho Cotchery. Number 6, Keyshawn Johnson. Number 7, Kyle Brady. Number 8, to be determined. Number 9, Stephen Hill. Number 10, to be determined. We need some busts is what we need. We need some crappy Jets. I may have made this wheel too good, as a matter of fact. No, I don't think I really did. Okay, spin number 9. In 3, 2, 1. I know we got some bad Jets coming. I know we got some bad ones on this wheel. Will we land on one of them? But we got to get worse than Kyle Brady. And instead we land on Kyle Clifton again. So let's respin. I got to shuffle this wheel or something like that because we keep landing on the same place. And we land on Brian Poole. Pretty good slot cornerback in his day for the Jets. He just kind of disappeared. I feel like he had, 2 good seasons with the Jets, and he just completely disappeared. I don't know if it was injuries or if he just chose to walk away, what the deal was, but he played 4 years in the NFL, I think. I think 4 years. No, only 3 years. Yeah, wait. I got it here. That was advanced stats. He played 5 years, 3 with the Falcons, 2 with the Jets, and he walked away at just 28 years old. Played 23 games with the Jets. Had a safety, had some quarterback hits. He'd get, a couple quarterback hits every year, a couple tackles for a loss. I thought Brian Poole was one of the Jets' better players in 2019 and 2020. So to me, this is definitely an 8. If you want to say he wasn't as good as Keyshawn, Kyle Brady, I got no problem with that, but I got to rate him above Stephen Hill. But ironically, both Brian Poole and Stephen Hill played 2 seasons with the Jets. All right, Brian Poole, number 8. I'm good with it. And that just leaves. So here's the crazy thing about this wheel tonight. So often when we have done this wheel, we have saved the number 1 spot for last. But thanks to Grandizer, that has not been the case. And so far, it has worked out very, very well. So now what we got to do is land on an absolute bust. And as I look upon this wheel, I see a whole lot of names that come to mind. I see D. Milner. I see Vlad Dukas. I think I saw Tremaine Johnson earlier. Will we land on one of those players and have a winning wheel tonight? Guys, I think this occasion, it's going to call for something just a little bit extra. So we are going to spin that wheel in 3, 2, 1. And we land on Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas would have been fine in that Keyshawn, Kyle Brady role, but now I know that Brian Thomas was not the best first-round pick we ever had, but he did turn into a pretty useful player. Just to pull up some numbers. Wow, yeah, he played in the NFL for I think 11 years. Did Brian Thomas? He had a pretty dang good run. And he played his whole 11-year career with the Jets, had 33.5 sacks, 8.5 was the most he ever had in a season, had 6 another year. If you want to call him a first-round disappointment, you absolutely can, but by no means can we put him below Brian Poole and Stephen Hill. So unfortunately, yeah, as far as this wheel goes, I can't quite call this a win. So I got to tell you guys. Yeah, disappoints me too, but unfortunately, spot number 10 for the first time ever is what got us. It's amazing. We couldn't get a Jets bus when we needed one, and usually we just trip over them just kind of walking down the street. It's like, oh, Tremaine Johnson, how you doing over there? Oh, Le'Veon Bell, I didn't see you laying there in the middle of the street. So, oh well. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me. I had a great time. I am going to head to the other room and watch Rangers Blackhawks. Definitely looking forward to that game. So, everybody, again, keep watching the channel, like and subscribe, share it with a friend. There'll be a bunch of videos coming out over the next couple of days. But everybody, have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Don't let the Jets ruin your life. And I will see you all right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair. Good night, everybody.